Hey everyone, welcome back into another episode of Winning Bets. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I'm your host Jason Mattis. You can always find me on Twitter at Lock of the Day One, at Lock of the Day One. I wanted to jump in here real quick and talk to you guys about my soccer system. I've mentioned it before on some podcasts and as well here on YouTube, and talked about not explaining it because I've talked about it in the past. But here's some opportunity where I wanted to go ahead, had some new subscribers on the YouTube and also along on Twitter. So it's time for me to explain it to you. And the reason I want to do it again is because you also hear me mention that due to this pandemic, there's not enough content to come on here, make a video with you guys, or make a podcast, but I'm still on Twitter announcing picks and announcing winning bets. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I'd done some research on a game last night, kind of slept on it, woke up this morning, did a little bit more research, and was feeling good. It fell right into my soccer system. It's in the Belarus Premier League again, so now I'm 5-1 in the Belarus Premier League. I can't pronounce any of these teams. I don't know any of the players. I don't watch this league, but when I do the research, it just fell perfectly into my system. Don't forget, soccer is a huge sport for me, guys. I'm a 36-year-old guy, and I'm still playing soccer to this day. Haven't missed a season since I was about 5 years old. I'm a huge Premier League fan. Obviously, I followed the other big leagues in Europe, Champions League, Europa League. I mean, soccer is one of the sports that I bet heavily. There's 3 sports that I bet really heavily, and soccer is one of them. And my soccer system is on fire. It's been on fire for 2 seasons now since I've been using it at an 89% win percentage. And like I said, I'm 5-1 using this system in the Belarus Premier League, in a league that admittedly I do not watch. I have no clue other than, putting in time on the research and investigating matchups. I don't know really anything about it in terms of the teams and the players and what have you, like I would Premier League, La Liga, the Bundesliga that's getting ready to fire back up here soon, and what have you. I just have a winning soccer system that produces winning bets. So I wanted to break this down. So the system, or the game that I bet this morning, that, let me see, it was, I can't even really pronounce these teams. It was the winning team that I predicted was Vitebski, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not really sure. Vitebski. They were the home team going up against Shakhtari something. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. The point is, falls in my system and it's a winning bet. Let me go ahead and explain that system to you. So basically, guys, I look at games when I bet soccer. Surely I'll certainly bet a money line straight up, or I'll do a parlay. I'm not scared to do those things. Typical bets that we guys do: a single money line or a parlay of a couple teams, maybe in Champions League. You'll parlay a couple of them, the big heavy favorites. Parlay 2 or 3 of those winners together to get your odds back down to 105, 110, maybe even some plus money on the plus money side. But what I do here on my soccer system is I'll find a team that's not really that much worse than another team, that the odds makers are giving them the win at more than plus 200, and then also the draw has to be at plus more than 200. Because what I'll do is I'll take half a unit, I put half a unit on the win and half a unit on the draw. You got to remember, guys, the reason why I love this system so much: when you bet baseball, when you bet football, or even more traditional people that don't follow this system and they place a soccer bet, there is a 50% chance you're going to win or lose in the basketball, and the football, and the baseball, and the hockey. 50%. Soccer, as we know, has the draw. So now there's no longer a 50% outcome you're going to get it right. We're talking 33%. So what I do is I take the unit that I'm going to bet, spread it across 2 of those outcomes, and now I'm up to a 66% chance of winning that. I've given myself an extra 16% chance to win a bet that I can't do in any other sport. You can't do that in those other sports, as I mentioned, because they just don't have the draw option. You either win or you're going to lose that bet. So in soccer, take advantage of that draw. Take your, every bet, take your 1 unit, split it across the win and the draw. And that's exactly what I did today. Vitebski, again, doesn't matter what the name is because it's a winning bet. It was at plus 450 and the draw was at 250. So that means if the team would have won, we would have netted $175 profit and the draw would have netted us the $75 profit. That's exactly what happened today. It was a 0-0 draw. The team that was 1 point worse in the standings, 1 point worse in the standings, was playing at home, and they were getting plus 450 with a draw at plus 250. Yeah, their goal differential is 6-8 overall, but it was 4-3 at home. So they're a much better. The stats show they're a better home team than they are on the road. The team that I bet has 3 losses on the season. Yet, but 2 of those are on the road, so they've only lost once at home. They were a better home team than what they are on the road. So I had confidence in betting this. The other time I'll also use this system is if the better team is on the road, but that has to be significantly better. This system, when I play it, comes into play when the team that's a touch worse is at home. You can't do that on the away because teams really perform really well at home. So I'm not going to take the team that is slightly worse or slightly better if they're the road team. This was the team that was slightly worse by 1 point. We're talking 1 point in the standings. That's it. 1 point? 1 point in the standings? That's all they are worse? And you're giving me plus 450 and plus 250 odds? I'm taking that. Thank you for the extra 16% chance to win that bet, and I will gladly hit that thing, as I've done now. 5-1 in the Belarus Premier League. 89% over winning in the last 2 years with this system. So again, that's exactly what happened today, guys. We won $75. I'm sorry there wasn't enough time for me to come on here for you guys to, see a video about that. But like I said, I started looking at it late last night before I went to bed, woke up this morning, looked at it more while laying in bed on my phone, and tweeted. I did tweet it out though. That's what I'm saying. You've got to follow me at Twitter at WinningBetsPod. That's at WinningBetsPod. Because while I may not make a video, all my bets do go up on Twitter. Now, a fair chunk of them will definitely hit the YouTube once we do get sports back. Once NFL's coming, I'll do a Friday or a Saturday night episode here on the Sunday slate of games. When I do baseball is another one of the sports that I've been making a killing over. It's so much in baseball. I've actually written a Perl script to assist me with the baseball bets. That's a sport I don't play around with. Like I said, I've got a Linux background for about the past 12 seasons. Spent my time writing a script. Baseball, we just need baseball to come back. But I've got a baseball system. I've got the soccer system. I've got football. You guys need to hang along for the ride on Winning Bets. So don't forget, that's the soccer system. It's winning at an 89% clip and 5-1 in the Belarus Premier League, a league that admittedly I do not know much about. So get on board at Winning Bets Pod. Let's win some money together. The next time I'm going to do a really nice preview here on YouTube coming up later in the week. The Bundesliga is coming back May 16th. Full slate of games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then they'll start coming in every weekend. They're even going to do some midweek games to crunch in the remaining games. They're trying to finish the season before June 30th, which is the end of the season in terms of player contracts. So they're motivated to get it in. So the games will come hot and heavy here over the remaining month and a half leading up till June 30th. So plenty of opportunities, getting a lot of bets, a lot of winning bets. Just make sure you're along for the ride at Twitter at Winning Bets Pod in case we don't have time to make YouTube videos, but we're definitely going to do a nice preview before May 16th, kind of saying, hey, we've been away from the soccer scene for 45 days, whatever it's been now, and kind of do a nice little review on where we were when we left off, how teams are doing, the form, talk about them playing with no fans. I think this is going to be weird. You're going to need to really tread lightly with no fans in attendance. I think all that home field advantage is really going to get neutralized by playing with nobody in attendance. We'll talk about that a lot more in the preview show. I just wanted to jump on here real quick, tell you guys that I won another bet today, $75 using my soccer system, and that you need to follow me on Twitter at Winning Bets Pod. That's at Winning Bets Pod. We just don't have enough content sometimes to always make YouTube videos, or sometimes like this morning, I come to a finalization that I want to lock in a winning bet and it's a little too close to when that event may kick off. So I just go ahead and tweet it out. So once again, thanks for joining another episode of Winning Bets. Glad you guys are along for the ride, and let's win some money and keep having fun together.